When Bachmann introduced its Spectrum line of On30 equipment, the only caboose available was this center cupola version. At the time this project began, there was not an inexpensive plastic version of the Rio Grande long caboose, so I decided to kitbash one out of two of the Bachmann center cupola cabooses. I chose to model number 589. This is a Class 3 caboose that's unique in that it has a peak cupola with two side windows on the cupola. Most Class 3 cabooses had one side window on the cupola, and the Class 5 had a rounded cupola roof. This video picks up the project well underway after a long hiatus of several years. So here's where I left the project those many years ago. The cupola windows don't look like the Class 3 cupola windows precisely, but it's close enough. Let's see how we got there. The underframe from two cabooses were sectioned and then fused back together to make the length that I had chosen. You can see the separation line in the middle of the underframe. To create the car body, the two original caboose car bodies were sectioned into several pieces and then rearranged to simulate the three-window body of the Rio Grande long caboose. The two roofs from the original cabooses were again sectioned and reassembled to make a roof fitting the long caboose body. The original Bachmann cupola was too narrow, so this was split down the middle and widened. The Rio Grande's long cabooses were built on conventional freight car frames. The Class 3 cabooses had an 18-inch end platform, and the Class 5 had a 24-inch platform. All Rio Grande narrow gauge cabooses had a stirrup step instead of a conventional passenger car step. I'll begin by removing the caboose steps from the frame of the Bachmann car. I'll then add in a piece of plastic to extend the frame so that it looks more like a freight car frame. The passenger car siding was continued forward on the frame up to the end buffer. So I added scribe styrene to the side of the frame and on the walkway. I found stirrup step detail parts, but they were too wide for my walkway. I then used brass strip to fabricate stirrup steps, and I mounted the stirrup steps on the frame. I reinforced the frame with some 60 thousandths styrene. To the underframe, I added cross beams, handmade queen posts, and truss rods. I reinforced the roof with a sheet of 10,000th styrene. Here is the construction of the new roof walk, and the new roof walk in place on top of the caboose. At this point in the project, the disparity in window size between the prototype and the model had grown too large for me. I was now prompted into action to enlarge the window sizes on the cupola and the car body. The dimensions of the openings were purely arbitrary and based upon what looked good to me. I'm very satisfied with the way the look of the windows turned out in comparison of the model to the prototype. I made a jig to help me bend grab irons for the roof of the cupola. A sunshade was also made for the cupola windows. With all of these things done, looks like it's time for the paint shop. The base color is Rust-Oleum Oxide Red Primer. The roof color is one of Rust-Oleum's camouflage dark colors. This should simulate a slightly weathered, oiled canvas roof. Here's the narrow gauge kitbash in front of two of the Atlas standard gauge bobber kitbashes. And a stop at the lettering shop for some decals. The windows are going to be pinstripe on acetate. Here I've painted electrical tape and masking tape in the car color. The acetate windows are just a piece of plastic off of some product I bought. Here I'm trimming the electrical tape to 1/16 of an inch thick. The window opening was scribed onto the plastic acetate, and then the pinstriping was added around it. Here it is mounted on the inside. And a view of the window. Looks like this one's a little off center. I'll have to fix that. With the handrails painted, the windows installed, and a new smoke jack in place, I think it's time to bring this project to an end. There's so many other little details that could be included, but I'll leave those for another time. So as I said in the beginning, this project was done with 2 cabooses. So after the Kitbash, there were some parts left over. The 2 car ends were combined into a short car body. The caboose steps were combined into a short frame and then thrown on top of a bobber caboose frame from an HO car. As always, I thank you for watching. See you next time.